this 1978 blue cantilever Schwinn frame is in fact a Klunker 5. Obviously, many of the original parts are missing, so the bike will need to get disassembled, cleaned, prepped, and assembled with period-correct components. There are two options. Option 1, stock. Return it back to original factory specifications. Option 2, let's take this Klunker 5 and throw some period-correct drip onto it. Schwinn may have called this bike the Klunker 5, but it was lacking performance in certain areas. The Klunker 5, in some ways, was headed in the right direction. The Schwinn dealerships, used to receive a corporate newspaper from the headquarters in Chicago, sent directly to the shops, called the Schwinn Reporter. It would talk about sales, racing, POP displays, incentives, and mid-season bike launches. The June of 1978 Schwinn Reporter had a write-up about the Klunker 5 with the tagline, "A new bike for a new sport." Schwinn was so close, but they did not move quick enough. 1979. Spitfire 5 launched, literally no different than previous Klunker 5. You know what else launched in 1979? A bike called the Stump Jumper was being born. That's right. The fucking Stump Jumper. Also, the folks at Shimano had traveled to Tiburon, California to visit the Cove Bike Shop where these off-road bicycles had become popular, and immediately following that trip began designing an MTB-specific group set. In 1980, Schwinn launched the Cruiser 5. Yet again, no changes really. Since the 1978 Klunker 5, to take matters into their own hands, a premier dealership called Riverside Redlands Schwinn built a custom Spitfire 5 cruiser. It would be featured in February 1980 issue of Bicycle Motocross Action magazine, the RRS California Cruiser. This bike would also be sent to the executives at Schwinn to show them what needed to be done. Why was this RRS California Cruiser so special, you ask? Well, the multi-speed shifting system was upgraded to a Shimano Dura-Ace rear derailleur with a slick handlebar-mounted thumb shifter, ditching the positron headset-mounted gear controller. Fill wood hubs with an ultra-trick drum brake and sealed bearing were specified. Aluminum rims would be used. No more high-polished steel chrome. S2 Schwinn rims for this bike. Knobby tires. Okay, they kept the Schwinn studded balloons. Respect. Color-matched aluminum components throughout the build and really helped tie the room together. Finished off with custom one-off paint job. It was a proper-looking demon of a bike. RRS shop were right, and I think the folks at Schwinn listened. Because finally, in 1981, the King Sting and King Sting 5 were launched. These were more modern frame shapes using chromoly steel, aluminum rims, and color-matched components. They looked good, and they were offered in single-speed or 5-speed variants. It still was not a purpose-built mountain bike. In 1981, Specialized was on the gas, catapulting the Stump Jumper to the masses. Running ads. It's not a new bike. It's a new sport. Sound familiar? Timing is everything. And the execution was spot on. The folks at Specialized ripped off Tom Ritchie's design perfectly. Put excellent components on the bike, spec'd amazing tires, and the price was just right. Throw in some guerrilla marketing, it was recipe for success. Specialized had raised the bar quite high. Schwinn was being left behind at an alarming rate. Back to this goddamn Klunker 5 build. Obviously, most of the parts are not what we need for a proper Klunker build. Fortunately, a period-correct Schwinn 5-speed wheel set was sitting in the shed and will be used for this build. It's not my first choice, but the Atom 5 Speed Drum Brake rear wheel and the ACS high flange hub front wheel wrapped with retro knobby tires will look just right. For the other parts, we can look at the 1979 to 1982 Schwinn accessory catalogs. Ditch the Ashtabula forged chromed gooseneck and the steel pullback bars, and replace with aluminum 4-bolt Schwinn stem made by Suntour. Some Nitto Japan high-rise cruiser bar will have this cockpit looking good and proper. This is what you might have seen on a Schwinn King Sting. In 1981/82, get rid of the hard plastic Schwinn grips and install some Creighton rubber grips. Remove the small Weinmann brake levers. Remember earlier I mentioned Shimano designing the first purpose-built MTB group set? I think the Shimano BL-M700 brake levers will look nice on this build. On the right side of the handlebar, a 5-speed Suntour thumb shifter mounted next to said lever will manage the shifting function. No need for wide Springer seat. The Brooks England B72 was common upgrade for folks building off-road performance bicycles. Finally, the smooth platform pedals will be upgraded to a more aggressive MKS BM7 platform pedal. As you can see with a few small upgrades, our 1978 Klunker 5 is starting to resemble an actual Klunker. Stay tuned, because it just so happens another 1978 Klunker 5 was purchased, and another bike build is on the horizon.